You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I know it's been a while, and I apologize, but I'm back. And welcome to another edition of Sassy Seniors. I'm Kelly Jackson, your host. Great to be back. It's been a couple of months, but I have a fabulous guest this week. But before I introduce him, I usually do a shout out, and usually I give props to a dog or a cat, a senior dog or cat who's made the news. But this week, I want to recognize the people of Joplin, Missouri, which is located not too far from where I live in St. Louis. It was a year ago this month when an EF5 tornado ripped through that town, killing 160 people and leaving hundreds of dogs and cats homeless. What I want to give props to and recognize would be the ASPCA, the Joplin Humane Society, and dozens upon dozens of other shelters and veterinarians who really made it possible to find loving homes for all of those scared dogs and cats who were left without homes. So props to the city of Joplin, Missouri, as well as everyone who made it possible, all of those pets to have loving homes. We're going to be right back. We're going to have a short break with America's Veterinarian when we come back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right. But that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping. From Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go.
I'm not much of a reader, but I do wish I were more well-read.
There are so many great books coming out. I wish I could find a way to keep up.
Audible.com makes it easy to stay well informed and catch up on your reading simply by listening. Audiobooks from Audible turn downtime into uptime. You'll be more productive and become well-read.
Now I'm able to catch up on all the great books I've been wanting to read.
With Audible, I feel smarter.
Pet Life Radio listeners, try Audible.com now and get your first 30 days of Audible Listener Gold membership plan free. And get a free audiobook. Choose from over 100,000 titles. To get this great deal, go to audibledeals.com. That's audibledeals.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Kelly Jackson, your host of Sassy Seniors, and I am so happy to have this guest today. He is America's veterinarian. He is also the resident veterinarian for Good Morning America, as well as the Dr. Oz show. Dr. Marty Becker, welcome.
Oh, by the way, talk about sexy seniors. I can tell you Kelly is a sexy senior. She is beautiful. And she's got a smile so wide she could eat a banana sideways, I'll tell you. I was in Joplin yesterday doing a satellite media tour for Petco and the American Red Cross, and it was really neat to see the progress that the city has made. And the good news category, the day before, the 22nd, was the 1-year anniversary, and on the 21st, they matched up the last pet that hadn't been returned to its owner. So it took them 1 day less than a year, but every pet that was lost was reunited with their owner. So kudos to those groups out there and those individuals that work so hard to put these families back together.
That is such great news. I'm so glad that you were able to be down there for, such an event that has made the news and affected so many lives in the past year. It's been a year since I've seen you also. You came to St. Louis last year, and you were on the television show that I host on the weekends for NBC, and you were doing a tour, which was really cool because you had like your own little caravan, didn't you?
Well, last year that was interesting. I don't know if that'll ever be repeated. That was, we had Lady Gaga's tour bus. There's these companies that rent these buses. And after she got off her tour, it was all wrapped up with this Healthy Pets Visit Vets logo. And we traveled all around the country. And after the tour was over, actually, Justin Bieber took the bus and went on tour. So it was a nice bus for a veterinarian. I'm more used to a pickup truck, that's 10 years old than that fancy bus. But it's really a chance this year we're doing another tour for Healthy Cats Visit Vets, and we're traveling around the country, this time by airplane, which is a little easier, but we're visiting 25 cities over the course of 5 weeks. And St. Louis is a fun stop to come to. I like coming here. Plus, I get a hug from Kelly when I come here, so that's nice. So I get to see her, I get to hug her, and I've been married for 33 years, and my wife will tell you I'm a serial hugger. So my mother was from the South, and so if that's the worst thing that I guess you could get accused of, it's not too bad. But like today, I had a chance to go on TV with a bunch of little kittens, and here in the Petco in Brentwood, I help people drop by with their pets. I just love seeing animals. Because everywhere I go, I'm drawn to animals like a moth to a light.
Well, we are in Petco right now, and we're in the adoption area for cats and kittens. So it's really quite fitting because your new book is Your Cat, the Owner's Manual. I loved it. I don't even own a cat. I've never owned a cat. I've had many friends who have cats. But I love it, Dr. Becker, because, A, it reads very easily. It's not too, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Technical.
Yeah, exactly. And you cover everything. And the first question I have to ask you, a lot of my friends who have cats, they always say, well, my cat is so cool. It's so much like a dog. What does that mean? If it's so much like a dog, then why don't you have a dog?
We wrote Your Dog, the Owner's Manual last year. It was in hardcover. It just came out in paperback. But Your Cat, the Owner's Manual is my 20th book, and I've been teased by some people that I might be America's veterinarian, but I'm a lousy person at coming up with book titles. Your Cat, the Owner's Manual. Could you possibly have an owner's manual for a cat when, it's definitely like bringing the wild inside, and you're never going to completely tame a cat to bring it to every human whim and desire. And I have 4 dogs and 4 cats at home, and those of us that love cats wouldn't have it any other way. We like that independence. We like the fact that they're this unique species that isn't a small dog. Typically, people say that it's like a dog if a cat will come when it's called and is more affectionate and even ones that'll retrieve a little toy that's thrown. But, we have 4 cats and they have 4 different personalities. One of them is just that big old lover lunk that you can twist into a pretzel and carry around by, one arm with it hanging down, and it always comes to you. And then we have another one that might not see you for a week, and then the next 2 days it's just up there, its old purr motor going, and don't know what's going on through his head. But I like the fact that they're both prey and predator, which is a unique ecological niche to have. So when cats like to get up high, they get up high because if they're in the predator mode, they're looking for supper, and if they're in the prey mode, they're in a place that's safe. So whether they're on a Lego blocks of green hay in a barn up high, or up on the top of your cadenza, or at the top of the cat tower, they love to get up high.
You cover a lot of things in the book, including some cat myths, like are they standoffish, that they're not affectionate, and they require access to the outdoors to be happy and can't get along with dogs.
Well, one of the things that I lobby strongly for is indoor-only cats. There's a study out of Purdue University that your indoor cats live 3.5 times longer than outdoor cats. And indoor cats live twice as long as indoor-outdoor cats. So there's a lot of hazards that await a cat outside, ranging from nasty neighborhood dog to angry tomcat that's going to give them an abscess, to car fan belts and hit by cars and poisons and viruses and everything. So it's perfectly fine to have a cat inside as long as you do enrichment activities. And, here in the Petco, it's just filled with things that are enrichment activities for cats, ranging from food puzzles that you use rather than feeding out of a bowl, climbing towers, different kinds of climbing surfaces, toys, and pheromones. One of the things that I'm a huge fan of especially when you're mixing up a cat with several cats in a house, or cats and dogs and kids. What's real stressful is to use pheromones. And pheromones, when a cat rubs against you with its cheek or against the furniture, it's marking you with its feline cheek pheromone. And basically, that's the good housekeeping seal of approval. When they rub that, it's like cat tested and approved. And that comes in a diffuser bottle. You plug in like a Glade plug-in or a Bath and Body Works plug-in. It also comes in a spray bottle like cologne. But the best way I could describe it, Kelly, it's like every cat gets 3 glasses of wine and a Valium. I mean, they just, they're not dogged out like catnip where they're falling over and, salivating or going crazy, but it just reduces that inner cat aggression. It tremendously reduces the tendency of cats to go outside the litter box to do inappropriate scratching. And so, that's another tool. You can use those kind of tools or provide more spaces. One of the things we talk about in the book is to expand a cat's vertical space. We're not going to remodel our home to give them more space, but you can just go to a local home improvement store and buy bookshelves big enough for one cat and just step them up a wall, and you literally will have furry art all over that wall. They have their own little contented place up high off the floor for a few dollars.
Wow. Interesting. I love that. Now, here's the thing. I hear that, at least in your book, you say that a lot of cat owners don't take their cats to the vet as often as they should because they say it's so hard to try to get them to the vet. So what should you do? What are some of the tricks of the trade?
Let me pretend I'm not a veterinarian for a minute and I'm a cat owner. I don't think I'd take my cat to the vet because it is so stressful for the cat and so stressful for the cat owner. But we really worked really hard to create fear-free visits where if it's not the best thing that happens to a cat this year, it's certainly not the worst thing that even happened this week. And the way you do that, we just filmed a short video on this, is first of all, leave the carrier down as part of fun furniture. Don't drag the carrier out the night before the vet visit or the day of the vet visit, and don't think that cat's going to freak out. Have the carrier out there all the time in some place in your house, and you know what? Leave the door open, have the cat in there, drop little treats through the top of it. You go down and you go to the Petco or the grocery store and you buy some incredibly savory canned food that you're just going to go wild over. Guess what? You put it in that carrier to feed them that. You get a new toy, you put it inside the carrier. So they think, you know what, this is the nicest, most comfortable, reliable, spoiled place that I have is inside this carrier. 2 is you go back to using the pheromone again, the feel away I spoke of earlier, where you just spritz the carrier with it. And again, it's just going to be like kumbaya. You take a towel that is from home, that has the sense of home, not one that's freshly laundered, but has the sense of the cats, and you drape it over the top of the carrier. And then hopefully you're going to go to a veterinary hospital that might have a feline-only exam room. So they'll get you right in there. It doesn't have the same harsh disinfectants that we use for dogs. It also has pheromones in the air in there. And your dogs can't smell the pheromones. You can't smell the pheromones. It's only the cats that smell the pheromones. And another thing you can use is there's a product called Anxitane. It's Anxitane. You can get it from your veterinarian. And it's a L-theanine, a natural amino acid. But whether it's for dogs or cats, it's a chewable tablet. I prescribe it to give 12 hours before a visit and 2 hours before a visit. And that, again, just makes it like, again, it's another way to do kumbaya. You use the Anxitane, use the feel away, have a carrier that can open from the top and the front, which PetMate makes a great one now designed just for cats, because a lot of cats like to go in the front and out the top. Or if the cat wants to go in the top and out the front, they can do it. If they want to go in the front and out the front, but the door opens both ways, so it gives you a lot of options. And actually, it unsnaps, so it just comes in half like a clamshell. And what I do is just take the top half off and leave the cat in the bottom half to examine it. So I want a cat, and I forgot one thing too. I have deli turkey, smoked deli turkey in my pocket in a little Ziploc bag. So it's body temperature. So with all those other things, before we prod or do anything else, unless we need to get a blood sample, I'm giving that cat a little bit of warm turkey out of my pocket. So you can see it's a pretty good ride to come to the veterinary hospital where I work.
Sneaky, but ingenious. I love that. Well, I didn't realize how hard it was to get a cat in a carrier to go anywhere. So I love those tricks of the trade. Okay, here's something that I've always wondered, and you address it in your book also, hairballs. I say welcome to the hairball. But what is a hairball, and, how can you prevent them or treat them?
I was holding a little kitten today, and he was licking me. And I don't know if you've ever felt a cat's tongue, but it is like a caterpillar wearing golf shoes. It is this raspy little thing that feels so incredible on your skin that those little barbs point one way, and that's down. So when they're grooming themselves, they literally auger in this hair and they swallow it. So it goes in their stomach, and guess what? It has one of two ways to go out, and it goes out the back end, but few people get down really close and take a look in that cat box to see it in the feces. What will happen, especially for longer-haired cats, is they'll groom themselves, and all of a sudden, about 2 a.m. in the morning, it sounds like somebody returning to the sorority or the fraternity that's just smashed, and they're making this incredible moaning sound, and then and all of a sudden they grab a hold of the carpet and get traction with their claws, and you always want to do it someplace you're going to step on. It's not actually a hairball. It's more like a hair cigar that they throw up. It's tapered at either end. Now, it doesn't hurt a cat to do it, but it is messy. It is annoying for a lot of people, and so there's things that you can do to reduce it. The number one thing is to use a furminator. The furminator is the world's greatest invention with the greatest name. So the Terminator is the furminator, and that gets rid of a lot of that loose hair, so it ends up in the garbage and not down the cat's stomach and back out on your carpet. The other thing you can do is add a little canned pumpkin, the unspiced version, just a teaspoon once a week. That really helps things pass through. Or if it's really serious, you can get special hairball diets that just have more fiber. But again, it's not, no cat's going to die of a hairball, but it is ways to really minimize it, which a lot of people, they don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night or else step in something that's unpleasant.
Oh, it is pretty gross, isn't it? Okay, well, I want to also address, since my show is all about senior pets, and page 275, you address special need cats and older cats. And the thing is, the best thing that I love is that you always stress fat cat's not a cute cat. And a fat cat, as far as their lifespan, will not be as, they will not live as long because they have so many health issues. What advice would you give our listeners for those who do have senior cats?
I wish everybody gave as good an interview as you do. I love being on your show.
Thank you.
I mean that sincerely. The thing with cats is, first of all, I love puppies and kittens. I love the smell of puppy breath. I don't know. I think it smells like sweet carob syrup. I love the smell of kittens. Like today I had these kittens, and it smells like buttered popcorn or something to me. I just love that earthy smell that kittens have, and I like their little kinetic action, those little, like Cirque du Soleil performers. But I'm more drawn to making a recommendation to people is to get a shelter cat and an older cat, because then the behavior's already proven. The first year of a cat's life is equivalent to about 18 human years, and that's the terrible twos in the teenage years for any of us that have had kids, so that's a tough time. But adult cats, if they like other cats, if they like men and women, if they're okay with children, they get along with other dogs. So there's many, many senior cats out there, adult cats, that are the best choice for somebody that's adopting a first-time cat or another cat. But for these senior cats, what we want to do is, if you keep a cat at its ideal body weight, which is about what the weigh at a year of age, they're going to live 15% longer, which is an average of 2 years. If you also do daily oral care, which maybe we can talk about in a minute, and I'm not talking brushing their teeth, I'm not talking going on a YouTube video with, the cat that's done hieroglyphics on your face or played tic-tac-toe with your arm with its claws. If you do that, you're going to add 15% to their life. So you want to keep them thinner. And if they get overweight, they have almost a mirror image of what humans get. They get an increase in type 2 diabetes, joint problems, heart problems, respiratory problems, skin issues. They don't groom themselves as well. Fat cats tend to have a bad attitude. They're just not as happy. And there's also an increased risk of cancer. So there's a compelling reason both for the health of the cat and how expensive it is to keep them at or near their ideal body weight. And 50% of America's cats are overweight or obese, so we know we're not doing a very good job of keeping them at their ideal body weight. And the key is to feed them a set amount of food. Don't feed free choice. They'll happily dig their grave with their food bowl. They don't self-regulate. Measure your food out. Ask your veterinarian for a recommendation of what food to feed. And I'm not talking about just going, buying the stuff from the veterinarian. Say, listen, I shop at Petco. What food should I feed my pet there? Or I shop at whatever grocery stores in your community, Safeway or Albertsons or Kroger's or Winn-Dixie, whatever it is. I'm going to buy my food at the grocery store. What kind of food should I feed this cat? And then measure it out, and then don't feed out of bowls. We have 4 cats at Almost Heaven Ranch. They all eat out of food puzzles. And the way to describe a food puzzle, it's the way you put kibble inside in a chamber that's like a slot machine. So it's like going to Vegas, Atlantic City, or the Indian casino and playing a slot machine. Sometimes it pays off a little. A lot of times it doesn't pay off any. Sometimes it pays out a tremendous amount of jackpot. But it takes memory, skill, and manipulation for those cats to eat. And so it's a boredom buster. Boredom equals obesity as well. Measured amount of food in a food puzzle, fed multiple times a day with the right amount of exercise, and you can keep a cat at their ideal body weight. And I've got cats that range from 20 to 5 years old, and all 4 cats are at their ideal body weight.
We'll be right back after the break.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Dyson. The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to DysonDeals.com. DysonDeals.com to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to 1-800-PetMeds.com/Sassy, SASSY, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at PetMeds.com.
Betty White, what's the #1 pet radio network in the world?
Pet Life Radio.
Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. What radio network has over 5 million monthly listeners and over 50 pet talk shows?
Pet Life Radio.
Rachel Ray, where is the best place to reach potential customers if you have a pet business?
Pet Life Radio.
Put your business in front of over 5 million pet parents with a radio ad on Pet Life Radio, the award-winning #1 pet radio network on the planet. Call our sales department today. Toll free at 877-385-8882. That's 877-385-8882. Or email us at sales@PetLifeRadio.com. Steve Wozniak, if Apple was a pet business, where would you advertise your eyeleash?
On Pet Life Radio.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's All Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we are back here with Dr. Marty Becker, America's veterinarian, featured on Good Morning America and Dr. Oz and Vet Street and so many other things. You're everywhere, Dr. Becker.
Seems like there's more than one of me, doesn't it?
I know.
You know, it's funny. They call me America's veterinarian. Dr. Oz actually is the guy that started that. Oprah started calling him America's doctor. Then Dr. Oz started calling me America's veterinarian. So I figured that sounds pretty good. I actually just got an award as the Global Veterinarian of the Year, which I just received an award. And that's the second biggest honor in my life. The biggest honor ever was becoming the Companion Animal Veterinarian of the Year for the United States. That's voted on by my colleagues and is named in honor of Leo Bustad, who is my dean. And Leo is one of the co-founders of the Delta Society. You know, these people that do the therapy work with pets. And also he really is the first person to show the human-animal health connection, that having a relationship with a pet actually improved human health and well-being. But, you know, besides playing a veterinarian on TV, I'm a practicing veterinarian. I was practicing before I started this tour, and and I love pets. I love people. I'm not the world's best veterinarian behind that exam room door. I don't want to pretend like I'm, this genius back there. But people have such incredible support teams anymore, and we tend to work in teams to where you don't have to be good at surgery, for example. You don't have to be the world's best internal medicine specialist. There's enough of us there to kind of pass the teamwork along. But I love dogs, love cats, love horses.
Well, it's such an honor that your colleagues have, given you the thumbs up, I guess I should say. I mean, that's such an honor, It really is. Your daughter's also in the pet field too. I've seen her articles.
She had a gift. She's she was very young, she took an ordinary wire-haired fox terrier and won all these competitions with it. It was just her dog, so she'd go to these competitions, and then she's really good with horses. So there's a thing called Western pleasure, this way you show horses. And Mikkel and my wife Teresa, my wife of 33 years, they showed horses together. And at this competition, it's like NASCAR. You got to have a certain level of car to be in NASCAR. In this thing, there's horses from $100,000 to $20,000 to compete nationally.
Goodness.
So she had a horse that was under $20,000. So she's at the lower end of it. She was the 4-time Canadian national champion on that horse. So we live so close to Canada, it's actually easier to compete in Canada than travel in the U.S.
Oh, my goodness.
My wife is riding the same horse, and she's worried sick and throwing up. And, my daughter's over there telling my wife, do your best, it's okay, kind of thing, the total reversal. But she just has a knack. And so she does it in a positive way. So it's not flooding a dog like some trainers do. It's nothing negative. It's just a positive way of showing him what to do, teaching him how to do it, and then rewarding them for doing it. And so, Mikkel's on vetstreet.com with me, our online home, and offers a lot of good advice.
Runs in the family.
Yeah.
Okay, so what final message would you like to give our listeners? The thing that I love that you said in your book, people so often go on the internet looking for information for their pets. And you said no amount of info on the internet or even books. The best thing is to go to your vet.
We call it paging Dr. Google. There's so many people. And you know what? I go to the internet too. I'm not telling you not to go to the internet because you're going to go to the internet. But most of the time, I can tell you 5 times in the last 4 or 5 months where somebody went to the internet to diagnose their pet and to come up with a treatment plan. And in 5 cases, the pet died. Sometimes it's not a week too late. It's not even an hour too late. It can be actually minutes too late. But you really run a risk when you do that you're going to have the wrong diagnosis and the wrong treatment plan. And always I want you to, it's been so tough in the past to take cats to the veterinarian. But now there's we talk a lot in there how to get your pet to the veterinarian and make it not even horrible, a pleasant experience. So using pheromones, using distraction techniques, using things like Angstitane, these little chewable tablets, you can get them to where they're not drugged out. They're not anesthetized, just in a natural way. One is with amino acid, the Angstitane, the other is Feline as a pheromone. And you know what? You can just mimic what mom would have done and make them like a little happy little kitten going in there. So I think healthy cats visit vets, keep them near their ideal body weight, do daily oral care, and brush them, with the product so you don't end up with shedding, which is the number one pet owner complaint. And also, a lot of cats are euthanized for litter box problems because they're not using the litter box. They're going outside or making the house the toilet. So many of those are solvable. Almost all of them I can solve. One is to find out the right kind of litter, which cats like. Cats tend to like clumping, non-scented litter. And even better is clumping, non-scented litter that has a little bit of activated charcoal in it. That's the one they prefer the most. Once or twice a day, scoop the box out, keep it clean. Every week, dump all the litter out and clean it out with soap and water. Every 6 months, throw the litter pan out and buy a brand new one because they get impregnated with a certain smell. If you're having trouble with your cat using it, make sure it doesn't have a medical problem, and then start using pheromones as the first thing. And finally, if I have a cat that we've tried litter box changes, adding more litter boxes, we've tried, attractants and everything to the cat and can't get it to work, many of these cats I put on Prozac. Now, this sounds crazy, but a lot of it is just stress. And if you put them on, there's a kind called Reconcile, which is an edible Prozac designed for pets, so it's not bitter like Prozac is. And it's just remarkable how many of those cats that weren't using a litter box without the stress will go right back to using it.
Who knew? Prozac for pets.
Doesn't that sound crazy? It almost sounds like there's nothing up for pretty sure to have erectile dysfunction in pets. But you know what? Your veterinarian has so much experience in training that there's no substitute, not just for when a cat is sick, but that once a year tip of the nose to the tip of the tail exam, because our trained senses, our sense of smell even, that's we sniff their ears, we flip their lips, we listen to their chest, we palpate lymph nodes, we catch things early on in that period of grace before it causes unnecessary pain, expense, or worse. So if you can learn how to have a happier visit to the vet, that's the greatest investment you're ever going to have with that cat.
And you heard it here from America's veterinarian, Dr. Marty Becker. Thanks so much for joining us on Pet Life Radio.
Thank you, my friend.
And be sure to tune in for another edition of Pet Life Radio in the upcoming weeks. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.